What is happening, YouTube? It's been a while that I made a video. Been a little bit on the busier side of the spectrum, but now there are pretty much five teams left. The Nuggets, they went to the Western Conference Final. So did the Lakers, and then the Heat, Eastern Conference, and then Game 7 is going to be the Celtics versus the Sixers. Um, in this video, I'm going to give my predictions on who will win the NBA championship. But first, I'm going to do like the pros and cons of each team, or basically what each team could really work on. So first, the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets have been a pretty impressive team throughout this year. Last like 2 years ago, they were like a little bit inconsistent. They had their mismatches. But as soon as they got Aaron Gordon, he's been pretty helpful, especially on the defensive end and rebounding. Because before Aaron Gordon, the Nuggets, they were terrible on defense and they gave up a lot of buckets. The Nuggets could still work on their defense if I got to be like a little bit nitpicky, but I mean, their defense is not even like that bad. I mean, they whooped the Phoenix Suns. Um, because Aaron Gordon, he definitely helps a lot. And now they got Bruce Brown, who's also another dog on defense. And the Nuggets, they just have a good amount of depth. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Jokic. Oh my gosh, Jokic, he's on his Nowitzki. He's like a Dirk Nowitzki one right now, man. Um, and of course, you got all the guys. So that's their biggest strength, and they don't really have a true flaw. Um, like I said, I only say their defense because Jokic is not the he's he's not like a ideal 1 to 5 defender, but his IQ is off the charts, and he might have a little trouble with got like Anthony Davis and all that. But after all, like Nikola Jokic is he's just a monster. Like he's like a center version of Luka Doncic, very crafty, plays at his own pace, very patient. He makes it look so easy, so it looks like like he's just doing he's playing weak competition, but it's just because Jokic makes the game so easy. So that's my um that's my opinions on the Denver Nuggets. Now let's talk about the Lakers tonight. The Lakers, they defeated the Golden State Warriors. Um, the Lakers, look, as a Clippers fan, I dislike the Lakers from the bottom of my heart, but I have to clap it up for them because they came from a long way. They went from 2-10 in the regular season start to the Western Conference Finals. That is a huge improvement. And if I'm lying to you if I just said, oh, they got an easy way out. Like even if they did, man, a lot of us thought they were not going to even make the playoffs. Wow, they went to the Western Conference Finals, and of course, the Lakers did make a lot of trades. They definitely, you know, added some pieces to surround them with like a little more shooting and with some actual wings. Um, and they only managed to give up one first round pick, which is pretty impressive. They got Vando, Rui Hachimura. I feel that Rui Hachimura was like their pretty good turning point, in my opinion. As a Clippers fan, I thought the Clippers should have went after Rui Hachimura, in my opinion, because at least he would have brought some athleticism for the Los Angeles Clippers. But that's a different topic. But Hachimura, he's a little inconsistent. He's known to have some off games, but his defense is definitely on the above average side of the spectrum. They got Jared Vanderbilt, which is I'm surprised Darvin Ham's not even like playing him minutes. Um, the Lakers, they went for depth, and them moving on from Russell Westbrook was a good thing for them. Not because Russell Westbrook is exactly a quote unquote bad player, but it's just the fit was pretty terrible. Yes, Russell Westbrook had some bad games, but for the Clippers, he's definitely benefiting in the Clippers in a way because Clippers play faster. But with the Lakers, they already have LeBron. LeBron is their point guard. So 2 point guards is definitely like kind of like a recipe for disaster. Specifically, two point guards who's not like an elite shooter. Because LeBron, I guess he can shoot, but he's not like he's not like he's not what comes to mind if you think of a shooter. Um, if one of them like if it was like a Stephen Curry and LeBron, that's crazy. But Russell Westbrook and LeBron, they have the same exact play style, so it didn't work out. But the Lakers, they got depth. They got D'Lo, who is I'll say like pretty inconsistent as well too, but he's been heating up. Um, but I say the main part was really Rui Hachimura and also Jared Vanderbilt when he played. Um, Darvin Ham, um, he finally is kind of waking up, finally playing Lonnie Walker. I feel if the Lakers play Lonnie Walker, like probably like start Lonnie Walker, I think that's that definitely even increases their chance to win a lot more. But Darvin Ham, he made a lot of questionable decisions, so that's what I say the Lakers got to work on, and Darvin Ham just needs to get his head together. And Ham is definitely like at least like regular season wise has been um, one of the like a bottom tier coach, and obviously Lakers could work on their shooting, but um, Lakers have also definitely improved on shooting. Also, not to forget Austin Reeves having a breakout year with the Lakers, plays pretty efficient and all that. So that's another big plus for the Lakers. But now let's get to the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat, um, they have a interesting story as well too. Kind of like the trajectory of the Los Angeles Lakers. The Heat, just like months ago, they were like considered like not even to make the playoffs as well. Um, they were losing a lot of games. They were like 10th seed, 9th seed. Um, they were just losing a good amount of games. They were struggling against the most like bottom tier teams, against like the Houston Rockets and the San Antonio Spurs. But they just managed to make it to the Eastern Conference Final. And all the credit goes to one man, Jimmy Butler. Oh my gosh. Jimmy Butler, he's been on a demon timer. That man single-handedly fried the Milwaukee Bucks. He be dropping 30s, almost 40 points. Like, oh my goodness. I think he did drop like over 40 points against the Bucks. And the Bucks is one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. At least they were ranked top 5. And that's all him. It's all on Jimmy Butler. That's what the Heat is all about. That he like all everything on the Miami Heat goes on Jimmy Butler. The Miami Heat also has really gritty defense too. Bam can play defense. Oladipo being out definitely was a hit for them on defense, but they got Kyle Lowry. It's a veteran point guard, but he's out right now. I would say he's a solid point guard, but lately he's been playing pretty solid as well too. They got I guess like solid shooters like Strus and Caleb Martin, but the major flaw I say is they need more guys who could like create like shots, because outside Butler and really just Jimmy Butler and then probably Bam and all that, like they don't really have like a guy who could create off a dribble, and they don't really have like a lot of offense. What I'm saying, because if you look at the like the past series and even like throughout the regular season, the Heat are ranked like the lowest offensive team in the NBA, and they definitely need their guys to hit the shots, because Jimmy Butler, he can do so much, but when this guy's getting like triple team and all that, They need someone who can hit, when Strus and Caleb Martin cannot hit their shots, and Duncan Robinson cannot hit their shots, the Heat are pretty much screwed. But but everything relies on Jimmy, like literally. Well, but again, Jimmy is like such a good player that he would definitely get doubled. And if none of the other guys are good, then the Heat are pretty much done. That's that's definitely their critical flaw. But one good strength is they got Eric Spoelstra, a pretty good veteran coach. Um, you know, always he's been there for like what over 10 years. Always made adjustments, called timeouts adequately. Um, Another thing is Bam got to get more consistent as well too. Bam, I noticed he's been having a lot of stinker games lately, and obviously got to get it together. But this game he did pretty good against the Knicks, so we'll see what happens. And then the last two teams will be the Sixers versus the Boston Celtics. This is gonna be a fun one. Who I got winning? I'm leaning towards the Celtics just because I do not trust Doc Rivers as a coach. Um, I don't think Doc Rivers is, man, that guy blows so much leads. The Sixers had an opportunity, man. They didn't even close out. And Tatum had a terrible game too. Like he had a terrible game until like the fourth quarter, man. But the Celtics, they haven't been much better previously as well too. Tatum, he's lately been pretty inconsistent. He's been throwing a lot of stinker games. He's one night he gives you 30, other night he doesn't even. He only gives you like probably what I'd just throw up a random number like 15. Definitely I get more consistent. Jaylen Brown, he's been doing his thing. He's more on the consistent side of the spectrum. Um, they also got Al Horford, who could hit threes when you would need him to. Um, Basically, the Celtics, they're really good at 3-point shootings, and so many, they got so many guys that can shoot threes. They also got Derek White. Derek White, he can shoot the ball pretty well. Malcolm Brogdon, oh man, smart high IQ point guard. Like all of them, a lot of them can just drain the threes, and they got Time Lord for defense as well. So the Celtics are on a well-rounded side of the spectrum. They just need Tatum to get more consistent. One big flaw about the Celtics coach is Joe Mazzulla. Um, I've been watching some Celtics games, and the game I remember the most was March 5 this year when they played against the Knicks. The Knicks actually managed to beat the Celtics and in that game. And yeah, I know it's one game, but still, other than Celtics are probably getting out rebounded. Um, the Celtics coach doesn't call a timeout. He just lets Jason Tatum ISO. Dude. And there was like what 2 timeouts left, and I believe it was like 20 seconds on the clock. That dude just let the Celtics play. Dude, you gotta call a darn timeout, bruh. And I think I would look to put Mazzulla around there, bro. Like, dude just doesn't call. Like, I don't know. I mean, I didn't watch as much Celtics game as in this series, but that's one big thing that definitely needs to happen with the Celtics. But I think the Celtics, they have the depth and everything, so I would lean that they close out against Philly. But Philly, they also got a lot of talent too. But when Doc Rivers is your coach, you're definitely not safe. You're definitely not safe. But the skill set, they're pretty balanced as well too. They got Joel Embiid, who's the second best big man of the league behind Jokic. James Harden, who's a very crafty player, but playoff Harden, that man has off games. But in this run though, he did drop like 40 points, I believe, in game one. So if Harden can play like that, the Sixers will be definitely a scary team, and they were definitely gonna actually win if Harden, he hoops. And they also got Tyrese Maxey, who's definitely an up and coming rising young star, who's definitely their ideal third option. PJ Tucker brings the veteran. Paul Reed, who's a very solid um, backup big who definitely could bring defense. Um, Daniel House, yeah, he had a good game, I believe. I don't know if he played last game, but the game before he played pretty well. Um, and then either of them matching up the Heat's going to be very interesting, but but now let's just get to the predictions. Who I got coming out west, I just leaned the Denver Nuggets just because I feel like they had the chemistry, for a while right now, and I think they're gonna gel pretty well. And who's coming out east? Um, I would probably lean. Ooh, I would lean the Boston Celtics. Just, but I would just lean the Celtics because they are a very good 3-point shooting team. But they live and die by the three too much, and you know need to drive to the rack a little more. Um, but but I'm gonna just like imagine two scenarios: the Celtics versus the Heat, and the the Heat versus the Sixers. Um, Jimmy Butler, he's definitely an animal, but again, outside Jimmy Butler, um, you know those guys like Struess and Caleb Martin need to hit the shots, and Duncan Robinson. If they don't hit any of the shots, that's definitely pretty much kind of like wraps. Because one big flaw was when they played against the Atlanta Hawks, and the Atlanta Hawks they were beating the shit out of the Miami Heat. So that definitely needs to happen. And um, but I don't know. But that's just my personal opinion. Um, Let me know which team y'all got coming out the East. But now let's just say the Sixers versus the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat mismatch would be Joel Embiid because Bam Adebayo, he's only 6'9", and Joel Embiid, um, he's been a monster. He's capable of dropping 50 bombs, so that's one of their biggest Achilles heel. Um, but again, a guy like Jimmy Butler going against Doc Rivers, that's definitely an advantage for the Miami Heat. So it could kind of go either way. But but again, my prediction is leaning towards the Celtics by a smaller margin. But if I had to say a prediction is going to be Celtics versus the Denver Nuggets, and I say the Denver Nuggets win the championship. The Lakers, they upgraded a lot, and they actually got depth this time. But the Nuggets also got depth, and I just feel they gelled a little bit more longer, and they are like a slightly younger team. I wouldn't say slightly. I would say they're a younger team in general. Because LeBron, he's almost 40. Jokic, he's in his prime. Aaron Gordon, he's around his 20s as well too. Murray, also around that age too. But again, Lakers do got good options. But that's just my justification of the Nuggets winning the championships. But let me know if you agree or disagree. Leave your thoughts down below. And anyways, Peace.